everyone. I hope you're having a great day so far. I hope you're doing well. Before we get on with today's activity, I would like us to have a quick discussion or a brief introduction into what language computers speak. Have you ever wondered, have you ever asked yourself that question? What language do computers speak to each other? The same way I'm speaking English to you, if this was two computers talking, what language do you think they would say to each other? Well, look no further. The answer is right here, and it's binary. Binary is the primary language that computers use to talk to themselves, or it's the easy way to transmit information between electronics or computer hardware. Binary is a numeral system where you write your messages using two digits, 0 and 1. These are used in computers as a series of off and on switches. So 0 and 1 to indicate off and on. It is a very simple and elegant design. Binary 0 and 1 method is a quick to detect electronical signal of off, which is false, or on, which can also be true. And it usually appears in 8 bits, which equals 1 byte. Binary is the most efficient way to control logic circuits for computers. So you see, it's a series of off and on, off and on, off, and on circuits. Cool. So if you were to send a message to me right now on a computer, how do you think your computer transmits that message through the computer before it gets to me? I think it would look something like this, right? So when we send messages or perform actions on our computer, this is what it looks like. This is what I assume it looks like, right? I guess we'll never know. But if you wanted to try this for yourself or just use this as a fun activity between you and your friends or your family, there are so many templates on the internet that you can use, like binary alphabet template that gives you all the code for all the alphabets, or there's a variety. It could be the one for numbers, it could also be the one for alphabets, or for a different like exclamation point, commas, brackets, and the space bar. That's kind of awesome. Which leads me to our very exciting activity that brought you all here to talk to me today, which is the binary beaded bracelets. As you can see from my screen right here, this bracelet, which you would come to find out as you watch this video, spells out the DoSpace initial. So this right here is a bracelet that tells you this is DS. Very cool, right? Okay, let's get started. For our binary bracelet take and make, you should have a goodie bag that would contain all of the items that we would be needing for today's activity. So I'm going to go ahead and show you everything that should be in the bag. First would be an item list, just to help you cross-check and ensure that you have everything that you need to completely make your own binary bracelet. 16 white beads, 16 black beads, and 3 colored beads, 1 pipe cleaner, and of course, an item that you would be providing for yourself, which is the scissors. And lastly, the binary sheet. That is a very important part of our activity today. Also, we have the pipe cleaners. We gave you 2 different colors, or if you have the same color, even better. You will only be needing 1 for this activity, and you can choose to use both of them if you have enough beads for 2 bracelets. So first, I would go ahead and separate all my beads, my black and my white beads, putting them in separate places just so it's easier for me to work. So now for step 1, we are going to start out by writing out our name. And in this case, my name is DoSpace. As you can see, this would help you better visualize and identify what initials you want to use for the activity. So like I have here, I have DoSpace. And next, I'm going to go ahead and choose the initials that I want to be making my bracelet for. And in this case, I have D for do and S for space. So now that I have my initials selected, I would be moving on to the next step of the binary bracelet making, which is to go to my binary sheet and try to identify or write out the binary code for the letters of my initials. So for D, I have 010000100, and for S, I have 010100011. And now I'm going to write that out on my paper, just so it would make it easier for me to separate between my D and my S, and that way when I'm placing my beads for the different colors, I can visualize what I'm doing, and it just makes it easier. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to place the beads according to their colors. Remember, white for 0 and black for 1. So I'm going to go ahead and place the white beads on 0 and the black beads on 1, just throughout my initials. So I'm doing the same thing for D and S, putting the beads exactly where they belong, white on 0 and black on 1. Next, I'm going to move on to S, and starting with 0, I'll place a white bead, and for 1, I'll place a black bead. Just repeating the same process until I'm done spelling out my name. Putting it all out on paper right here helps avoid or eradicate any mistakes that would come up when you are putting your bead on the string, or pipe cleaner in this case. And last one, I'm putting my black bead on my last one. And now, a very important and very colorful friend, the delimiter, which would be a colorful bead. I don't know what color you have, but right here I have purple beads, and I'm just going to place them on the paper exactly where they're indicated, just so it's easy for me to know what my bracelet is going to look like. And so I don't have to do a lot of thinking. I'm just going to be putting the bead on the pipe cleaner. And now I'm going to go ahead and just put my beads on my pipe cleaner exactly how it looks. You can choose to start from the right end or the left end, making sure to put the delimiter and then the beads before you do it, or you could choose to start from the left and start with the first initial before the second one, or like me, what I'm doing here is putting my delimiter for the middle, just so I can separate my initials. And in that case, I will start with the last binary number or code for letter D and just fill it out from the back to the front for D, since I'm starting from the middle. You can choose to do this in any way that works for you. Make this your own, right? And lastly, my first one, and that is complete. I'm also going to put my delimiter to mark the beginning of my name, well, my first initial, which is D. So right here, what you can see is the first part of my bracelet, which is the letter D. And now for S, I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing, starting from the front. So 0, which is a white bead, 1, which is a black bead, 0, another white bead, and 1, another black bead, and 0, and 0, and 1, and 1. And lastly, don't forget our good friend, the delimiter, to help us mark the end. So yeah, there you have it. That's our binary bracelet is done and complete. That's it right there, from start to finish. I'm tying this up right now just to see what it would look like on my hand. And there we have it. Awesome. I wonder if anyone of you guys has the same initials as me, but if you were going to put this on your wrist, you would of course make sure you tie it to fit the size of your wrist. And yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this DoSpace Summer Take and Make. We'd love to see your version. Take a picture or video and share with us on social media or email us at programs@DoSpace.org. Make sure to go to DoSpace.beanstack.org to mark that you created this take and make.